Boom. Challenge passed. So this challenge took us 8 days to pass. You get a nice little certificate. You can see your certificate, you can download it, you can share it on socials. But as you can see, we were able to slowly kind of work our equity up to hit that profit target. What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining. I'm excited to share with you this new FXreplay feature, prop firm simulator. It's been something we've been pretty excited to get out to you guys, so you can practice your prop firms without having to pay all the money to practice them themselves. So within the platform, you can see within the documentation, we basically have the ability to make a new prop firm session. I'm going to walk you guys through, and yeah, we'll see if we can pass one today or if we're not. So within what prop firm should we use? FTMO is kind of a gold standard, honestly, for most Forex and CFD traders. Anyone pretty much out of the US can use them. And so oftentimes, 100K count is maybe the most common. So maybe I'll use these. If you're obviously starting out, maybe you want to start with a smaller account, but I'm probably going to go with the 100K account because it's kind of the most popular one. And again, instead of paying $400 or euro or whatever to practice this with real money, you could simulate it with FXreplay and build up some confidence that you can pass it before you have to kind of pay your hard-earned money. So we'll be using these parameters: $5,000 daily loss, $10,000 max loss, and 10K profit target. So within FXreplay, if I come into creating a session, I'm going to be using quarterly theory. It's a strategy I'm pretty comfortable with, so I feel like we have a good chance of passing. Make sure you select prop firm session right here, and then down below you'll see kind of the metrics for, so like I said, 5K max daily loss, 5K total loss, and 10% profit target on a 100K count is basically going to line up with that. And then for the kind of testing period, I'm just going to pick a random date in the last 3 years, January until basically July of earlier this year. I'll make sure I have a little bit of time. So I'll get a random date from this. Looks like 2020, February 9th of 2023. Scroll back the time a little bit so we can start at the start of the day. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and add spreads and commissions too. So I'm going to turn this on. And it looked like $2 is probably going to be maybe 2.5 for US 30, and then I think $2 is probably going to be good enough for the Nasdaq. So we'll do I think you have to put 25 to get $2.5 paid. I'll double check it once you get in the chart. I think you got to do 20. Basically add an extra 0 to get it. We'll double check when on the chart, and then yeah, we should be good to go. All right, so as you guys have seen, and we've done a lot of videos of the quarterly theory, so I'm not going to go super in depth with the strategy. We're looking for deviation, basically sequential SMT, and I'm looking for to trade the relative weaker pair for shorts, relatively stronger pair for longs. So we're good to go. I guess the last thing I wanted to tell you guys before I really get started with this is what risk per trade to use is going to be an important element of trading these prop firm challenges. So I haven't had the time to do, as much testing on this as I'd like. Ideally, I would have had over 200 trades, multiple market conditions to really be able to trust this data. But just off what I have so far, I've got, 60% win rate, and I'll look at the risk reward simulator to really fine tune this a little bit too. So usually I prefer a little bit of a higher win rate when I'm actually testing myself. And it looks like I can have a little flexibility. There's a lot 3.9 profit factors. To be honest, I might go for this 1.5R, just base hits, with a pretty high win rate, because I still have a pretty high profit factor and minimize my drawdown. So I'll basically take these metrics that I decide to use, and I'll come over here to this risk of ruin tool. You can find several of them online. Input your metrics, and I usually like to add a little bit of conservatism to this. So instead of the 72%, maybe I'll put 65% or something like that, because you're going to miss some trades, you're going to take some trades you shouldn't, so your win rate's naturally going to be a little lower when you actually trade than compared to normal. And then 1.5R is kind of what I want to go, max drawdown 10%, and you can play around with the risk per trade to kind of get these metrics for peak to valley and risk of ruin. So the difference between these two is if you have a trailing drawdown prop firm challenge, you want to focus on the peak to valley, because it's basically at any kind of high watermark, what's the probability you're going to drop down at least 10% in this case. So you'd almost guaranteed if you're using 2% risk per trade. But with FTMO, where it's kind of a fixed static, I think you just can't go below 90K. In this case, the risk of ruin is essentially from the very time you start the challenge, what's the probability you would go below that 90K threshold at any point. And so at 2% risk per trade, we pretty much have statistically no chance of blowing the account as long as we stick to the model. So we'll go ahead and go for 2% risk per trade. So that's what I'm going to use when I take these trades. And yeah, we'll go ahead and kind of play forward and see what we can do. And just to, again, give you guys a heads up, a couple different things with this when you're doing the prop firm challenges. Number one, you can click down here to see the prop firm rules. As you progress, you can see information. Over time, we're going to enhance this so you can add, additional restrictions. You can't trade news. Maybe you can't hold overnight. Different things like that. Different types of drawdown. That's coming in the future. This is just the MVP, but it is fully functional pretty much for the FTMO simulation. So that's why I'm starting with that today. And then the second thing you'll notice is you cannot replay when you are in prop firm simulator mode, and there's a reason for that. If you're trading in actual accounts, you can't, go back and redo a trade you missed or undo a mistake you had. So there's no replay feature within the prop firm simulation to try and help simulate that real environment. Now we have some potential session S&T here if the NASDAQ cannot take out this low. So let's see if we can get a trigger off of this. They're both green candles right now. There's our engulfing candle. So this is the entry trigger. We have the bullish session in S&T. The Dow took this low and the NASDAQ did not. So we can enter here at this candle, kind of using the low as our stop loss. And again, I'm just going for simple base hits, 1.5 R. So I'll place the order. I'm just going to market enter at this point. The spreads do eat into my profits a little bit. So we'll see kind of what I want to do for that adjustment. Maybe I'll do a limit order, so I at least retain my 1.5 R risk to reward, and then I'm going to use 2% risk. So I'm either going to make 3K or lose 2K. So I'll place it in. Got tapped in. Unfortunately, first trade was a loss. We did not take this low, so the S&T is still intact. So I missed my second attempt here. There was a second attempt. I could have traded off this engulfing candle. I can still give it a shot if it hits before my TP, but unfortunately, I can't go back and try it again. So we'll see if we can get another attempt in here. It might just take off without us. Okay, 2 losses. All right, 2 losses for the day is probably good enough. We don't want to breach the daily loss limit, so let's go to the next session. No S&T off the bat. We do have some potential bearish S&T here. Let's see if we can find no longer. Okay, and we've got some bearish session S&T potentially. This is a PSP that I missed right here. So NASDAQ has taken this high, the NASDAQ has failed to take this high, whereas the US 30 has. And then we had a precision swing point here, doji on a green candle on NAS red candle here. So the entry should have been 1 candle back right here. Should have been my entry. It's already kind of taken off, so I might just try and hop on this one a little bit late, or see if it can come back to the entry. Maybe I'll just try that. 1.5 R base hit down here. Kind of lines up with this fair value gap. Place the order. 2% risk. Got tagged in. Nice TP. So we'll see if we have any more. Okay. Another form of bearish S&T here. Equal highs on the Dow, lower high on the NASDAQ. So we have, again, another potential trade here with this engulfing candle. Probably just, use that as our stop loss, take profits. And try this one right here. So place order. Nice, 2 trades in a row. Okay, we've got a bullish SMT session, and so we're good to try this. So we have a lower low here on NASDAQ, higher low over here. So we're interested in potentially trading the Dow for a trade to the upside. Not really engulfing or PSP. We had a doji here, but it wasn't really indecisive candle over here. No entry triggers yet. This is an engulfing candle now. So we can kind of use this as our parameters. There's nice relative equal highs up here too, which is helpful for a draw. So place the order. Let's see what happens. We took this. Nice. It's awesome. 3 wins in a row this day. I'm definitely going to call that good for today. We are already halfway to our profit target with pretty much no drawdown, so that's awesome. So the Dow has failed to take this high yet, right here, while the NASDAQ has already. And we had a green kind of doji right here on the Dow, red doji on NASDAQ, so we could have potentially taken it. It would be a really tight stop. That's the only thing I don't like about this, especially since we have the spread. I kind of prefer waiting to take this one a little bit. I think we can still take it now, but yeah, I think we'll just go for a base hit on this one for sure, because the spreads are going to be a little bit more challenging. So it's a market entry for a short. We can give this one a shot. Okay, fortunately the spread knocked us out. Yeah, the stop loss is pretty tight on this one. It's the only thing I didn't like. If we would have entered on the PSP, I think this would have been a win. But it would have been a super tight stop loss. And I would have been a little nervous. So this is one I'll make a comment. Should have been a win. I missed proper entry. This is part of the game with these prop firm challenges. You can't play back and record the trade. So I should have entered this trade on the Dow after we had this precision swing point, and I could have caught that 1.5 R. But unfortunately, I waited another candle and we got a loss instead. It's all good. It's why you add some conservatism to your actual results. So potentially have another attempt here. Again, I might have been one candle too late once again. So we still haven't taken this high on the Dow, and we had a kind of indecisive red candle, indecisive green candle. So this potentially could have been our entry. I might have to chase a little bit. Maybe I'll see if I can at least come back to this candle's high for 1.5 R. Again, I'm not trading this as optimal as I could, but I'm just doing my best. So it's already hit the take profit. So this is again a trade I missed. So we could have pretty much passed our challenge today if I would have hit these. So this second one is just a missed trade. But it's good to practice. Like, if you're noticing you're missing too many trades, see what you can do to try and help reduce that in the future. Maybe just slow down a little bit. It's a good idea. But I'll probably just go to the next day. I've already missed 2 trades. Okay, now we have some SMT with a really nice precision swing point. So you can see the Dow took this low. The NASDAQ has failed to, and this is a really awesome precision swing point. Really kind of indecisive green candle versus red candle. This is like a picture-perfect precision swing point. Let's use a low as our stop loss and targets 1.5 R. About there. And I could use tags and stuff. I'm honestly just being a little lazy. Okay, caught a loss. So yeah, fighting into these fair value gaps right off the bat, even though we did get that initial reaction, unfortunately, caught a loss in this first attempt. However, we still could take a second attempt at this with his engulfing candle down here. So I can do one more attempt this day, stop at the low, and honestly might just target these relative equal highs. I'm kind of seeing that as a potential good targets. So I'll give this second attempt a shot. I'll go ahead and go break even. Kind of just feel like protecting my profits at least. See if we can dig up a little bit more. Nice. So we are back on track. A little over 60% towards our profit targets. Had to take a couple attempts, and then I used a little discretion instead of just going for the simple 1.5 R. I saw these kind of relative equal highs, and thought maybe we can dig a little bit higher. We've already kind of taken out one attempt, so I used a little discretion to improve the trading this day. You could have just gone for the 1.5 R base hits. Yeah, we're pretty much at the end of the day. I'll just go to the next session. Now we have potential 90-minute SMT here. Dow took this high. The NASDAQ has not. And we have a nice engulfing candle to the short, so we can give this one a shot for a short to the downside. Again, just going for a simple 1.5 R base hit in this case. Save. And caught another loss. All right, we've given back a little bit of our profits. Again, we've got the full 10K, so we're still up overall, but we're having to work a little bit to finish it off. We'll give this one a shot. We have a lower high on the NASDAQ compared to the Dow, and we have an engulfing candle. So the trade would look something like this. I'll probably just go for these lows down here for like 2R. Nice. All right, back on track. Go to the next session. Okay. So what do we have coming into the session? Big impulsive move down. This needs, oh my gosh, we could have held that trade and passed the challenge easily. Like, that's a huge potential trade. This is where like trusting your data is going to be really important. Like, you're totally like, I myself included, if I was actually taking a prop firm and I took this trade and I was like, oh my god, I could have just held this and passed my challenge, it's going to trigger some FOMO and make it challenging for you. And this is really where like trusting your data is going to be super important with a prop firm, because if you have the data that says, yes, of course, there's going to be a few 30, 20, 10R trades that happen every now and then, but over time, it's optimized to just take it at 2R every time or 1.5R. You're going to have that data to just trust, okay, this needs to be my execution, because over the large sample size, that's like the best thing to do. So, it's going to be really important for you guys to get the data. So we had bullish session SMT here. The Dow had failed to take this low compared to the NASDAQ, and it was close to an engulfing candle, but not quite. I had a feeling that this might just take off. So this is a trade we probably just would have missed. Obviously would have worked out. It's sitting at 1.27R, probably would have hit our 1.5R at the peak, but just wasn't quite, didn't fit entry criteria. Entry criteria. Can't spell criteria, but right idea. So you can just make those comments, take the observation, don't stress about missing a trade. It's going to happen. So we can see if we get, I had a feeling we were just going to impulse to the upside. We don't really have any continuation models with this, with the quarterly theory model. Obviously, you could potentially trade some fair value gaps along the way to hop on continuation. But now we have some, or no, we don't have anything yet. Let's go to the next window. Now we have some potential bearish SMT. And I'm going to pass on this mainly because the high time frame SMT is more important than the low time frame. So yes, there is some 90-minute SMT here for a potential short. I'll paper trade it just to kind of show you guys how it would have played out. So stop would have been up there. We would have targeted 1.5R to the downside. I'm not going to take it, just see what happens. Of course it plays out. So yeah, that's fine. Again, I'll make a note here. Past since high time frame bullish SMT. But yeah, would have played out. So between missing this, this trade not quite meeting our criteria, and this one we would have also passed the challenge. But it's fine. Just if it takes another day or two, it's not going to be the end of the world. So we could potentially have some new bullish SMT now. It's not really a PSP there. This is a better PSP. So we've got our bullish 90-minute SMT here. NQ took the low, and then we have red indecisive candle on the NASDAQ, green impulsive candle over here. So we can enter here, stop at the recent low, target 1.5R. Should we kind of back up into this fair value gap? I think it's a pretty reasonable target. Oh, we got close to our TP. Nice. So we are one trade away from passing. We are 93% of the way to our target. Realistically, if I was trading this, I probably would have just like held it a little bit longer to get that last $700, but it's fine. Just trading it like you normally would, and then eventually you will pass if you just stick to your rules. It's totally fine. So let's see if we get another attempt here. We now have another bullish SMT. Let's see if we have one last potential long attempt on the Dow. So this could be a precision swing point. It's kind of close enough. It's hard to see because of the coloring of this indicator. I'll turn this off real quick. Or I need to turn this one off, sorry. So yeah, the kind of wick was here and a wick was here. So we have a precision swing point. We'll give this one a shot and see if we can pass the challenge and end it this day. Stop here. I don't need very much to pass. So again, you can just go for, I'm risking 2,000, so I need like 0.5R. Or what is it? No, I need like 0.5R to pass the challenge. That'd be over $1,000. Place the order again. The estimated profit would give me my win. So save. See if we can just catch a very small base hit here. Boom. Challenge passed. So this challenge took us 8 days to pass. You get a nice little certificate. You can see your certificate, you can download it, you can share it on socials. Really reward yourself for working on building a strategy, testing it, and whatnot. These prop firms are designed to be difficult, and so being able to do the simulation is going to be super helpful. So you can view the certificates, pops it open, and you can kind of save it out. Let's take a look at the analytics. So overall, in this session, we took 13 trades. Again, missed a few trades, could have passed it a few days earlier. But as you can see, we were able to slowly kind of work our equity up to hit that profit target. Took us, a little over 8 days to hit everything. The most we had was 2 losses in a day, which was that kind of max 4K daily loss. We made sure not to trade, past that, so we didn't hit that daily loss limit. And then again, kind of that was also our max loss. So overall, we hit our profit target, average 1.6 R. We did have some trades that could have ran pretty hard. But yeah, this was a really nice challenge. So I really encourage you guys to test this out. If you're trying to pass prop firms, this will give you the confidence if you can, build up more of these. And again, if you fail them, it doesn't mean you're, terrible. You should quit trading. It's just information that I need to, figure out, am I trading the right strategy? Are there more optimizations I need to be doing? Are there execution challenges that I'm having? I'm missing too many trades, or I keep moving my take profit stop loss, or I keep closing things too early. Doing these simulations is going to help you start realizing some potential execution challenges that you need to work on. So the failing challenges still gives you that information. It's good to have to work on. So with that, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I hope you guys got some value out of this, and I hope you have a great weekend. Catch you for now. Bye.